Well. Welcome in, you filthy animals. Happy friggin' Wednesday. It's 8 p.m. Hold on. It's 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So you know what time it is. It's time for the live stream. I should apologize. It's not technically 8 p.m. It's 7:56. It's 7:56 when I look down at my clock. I said, screw it. We'll start a little bit early. Shock the people. You know, I missed last week, or rather last Saturday. I've been terminally busy. I've been trying to get a lot done. Been trying to work on some things. I've got a lot of stuff that I want to do, and not a whole lot of time to do it. That's kind of life's big challenge, right? Like when you're younger, when you're a child, you're like, oh, I can't wait to be an adult. I'll have so much time. Nobody ever tells you. Like, just wait. Taxes. Frickin' taxes. There's a lot going on in the world right now, guys, but we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to hang out. We're going to chill. The theme for tonight's live stream is, are there knife steels that should just retire? And I'm thinking about starting a poll in the live stream. You know, I like polls. P-O-L-L. Gosh. People. Polls. I like polls. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it to start us off before I start saying hi to everybody. Give the good people a chance to filter in. Are there knife steels that should just retire? I think that a lot of people would answer yes to this question, but then the follow-up would be, okay, which steels, and most importantly, why? So that's kind of the overall prevailing theme of tonight's live as we go through and talk about everything else, but we'll touch in on this throughout the live stream. So I'm going to start a poll in the chat. Which of these steels should be retired? Shout out to my man Sharif Manganis. He just started a channel specifically for his knife brand, Manganis Steel. Go check it out. I mean, listen, I was shocked because I found out because I saw one of his videos pop up and I'm like, why does it say he only has 130 subscribers? Oh, it's because his other channel, his main channel, is The Real Sharif. But he was posting under his brand of Manganis Steel. And his latest video was about how he hates M390 and exactly why. Now, I'm not going to give you all of the details because at some point I want you to go watch that video. I think it's a really good conversation, a good topic to discuss for everyone in the knife community, because we all have that one steel where we look at it and we're like, if I see 14C one more time. Right? So anyways, his video prompted tonight's theme. So all the credit to my man Sharif for giving me something to talk about. Anyways, which of these steels should be retired? We'll put MagnaCut on there. If you pick MagnaCut, man, it's on there. M390 specifically, not 20CV, M390 specifically. Let's add another one. Let's do S30V. I mean, S30V is definitely on that list for me. What's another one that we should retire? You know what? Let's do this. Let's keep it to 3. And the fourth option will be I like rocks. There it is. Polls in the chat. Hop on it. And in the meantime, we got some good people in the chat. We're going to start off. Shout out to my man, Marco. Marco, first person in the chat. Welcome to RJ Atwell, Vavelsky, the Pawns. RJ says, I put titanium scales on my Para 3 and the lock is super hard to press. Any suggestions? It sounds like something isn't lined up. I've had this happen before where, like, if it's off just a little bit, if that liner, that lock side liner isn't perfectly set in, sometimes it can bind against the blade. So when I take apart a Para 3, and I've done so many Para 3 videos. I've got one more, but I'm putting it off because I don't want to do like 3 in the span of 1 month. When you are doing that, I like to have the blade at an angle, so not locked out against the stop pin. This always happens when you're locked out against the stop pin. So by doing this, you have to actually hold the blade and the other side of the scale. So because there's going to be spring tension between that compression lock liner and the blade, right? So you want to put pressure there, have it not have it not locked out. Then you put your scale on, because if you do it with it locked out, what will happen is that liner has an opportunity to bind up against the blade. Now, if you already put the knife back together and you're like, man, I can't press this compression tab, you want to be careful. I would get something like a cloth and the end of a pen, hold the blade, wear gloves. This could be dangerous. Like, don't chop off your finger, and use it to press in that lock. You'll hear it pop. It's kind of like it's got really bad lock stick to the point where that liner's jammed against the blade. It's super compressed. Yeah, you just have to unjam it, right? Once you do that, it'll work itself in. But that's why I don't like putting Para 3s together with the blade in the fully deployed position. You want it like halfway deployed. A lot of people don't like doing that because then they have to hold the scale and the blade together as they put on the other scale. And they're like, well, wouldn't it just be easier if I just had it like fully deployed? When you have it fully deployed, it has the opportunity to bind up between the blade and the liner. I've had that happen, so I know firsthand what you're talking about. But that would be my suggestion. If you've already put the knife back together and you can't release the lock, take a like the back end of a pen and a cloth, wear gloves, and just, or you could just be careful, or you could take it apart again. That's probably the safest option. Be safe. Make smart choices, right? I don't know. Apparently, I don't make smart choices. I was in the Only Spartans Discord. I just set up the live stream, and they're like, Rolls, it's not Saturday. I'm like, what do you mean? Of course it's not Saturday. It's Wednesday. And then they showed me the title of the live. I still had it set to Saturday Night Live. Completely spaced it. But we're going to live like it's Saturday. Why not? What's up, Henry G? Welcome in. Welcome into Steve, Sweetie, John Tagamori, Mike and Ike's EDC. He says, Roll, what's your next Benchmade? There is only one Benchmade that I actually would like to have in my collection. And I'll show you what it is. It is the Benchmade Mini Adamas in S90V and carbon fiber. That's it. That's literally the only one that I would want. And it's not even super high on my list. It's just the one that I would go for. Like, here, let's see. Is it this one? Is this the right one? Yeah, I think that's the right one. This guy right here. Yeah. Like, I've tried the Adamas. Okay. I've tried the Mini Adamas. The Mini Adamas feels plenty large in my hand. It's not micro, right? I don't mind the speed holes, the apertures right there. I like the blade shape. S90V is one of those steels where it's okay if it's at 59. I say that because Benchmade is not hitting high Rockwell targets on anything. S90V is one of those steels that will still perform good at 59. And I know this because that's exactly what Spyderco he treats it to also. So I'm like, you know what? Not so much worried about a softer Benchmade heat treat on S90V. S90V at 59 is still going to outperform M390 at 59. But yeah, if I was to buy a Benchmade, it would be this one. I actually really do like the carbon fiber. I like the blade shape. I think the blade shape is a nice mixture of modern and classic at the same time. It kind of reminds me of, it's kind of got this Bob Terzola-esque little peak right here, you know, or what's his name? Les George. Les George also did that a lot. Like that's kind of a classic line right there. It's just a good looking knife. And of course, Axis lock is going to be a good lock. A lot of people had issues with the first couple iterations of the Adamas. Apparently, they had issues with the Axis lock not fully locking out. Benchmade has since fixed that. So yeah, if I was to buy a Benchmade, it would be this one. I will tell you this right now: they are available, and it's not high enough on my list for me to buy. But that is one that I wouldn't mind buying if I was to buy a Benchmade. Jim Miller. Jim. What's up, Jim? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome in to Stonewall. Thank you for being a channel member. Hello, hello. Hello to Geo Knife. We've got Precision Knife Works in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome into Ed B. Ed B says, Sharif don't like it. Get rid of the M390. Get rid of the 20 CV. Sharif don't like it. Oh, man. We'll talk about how I feel about that here in a little bit. Ed B says, holy shit, roll is early. Yeah, you know what? I like to surprise people sometimes. You know, sometimes it's good to be unpredictable. You never know. Henry says, it's hot. It's too hot out to be doing anything. It's too hot out to be doing anything by me. Marco says, polls. John says, according to Sharif, M390 has to go. That is his opinion. Ebby says, should Spyderco retire making the same knife over? Listen, you know why they do? They do because they continue to sell. 100% Spyderco continues to make the same models year after year after year because they keep selling. And they're like, you know what? This year in a new steel, you have 10 paramilitary 2s, but do you have one in Oz 10? The collector's like, oh, well, no, I don't, but I should. I've broken my no duplicates rule too many times this year. I might as well just throw the rule out the window. Margo says S30V. I'll let you guys know which one I would pick. Welcome into Thomas Wheeler. What's up, Ace Paylone? Good to see you, man. The Night's Edge, Neil. What's up, Neil? Another channel mod in the house. Local celebrity, Neil from the Night's Edge. Make sure to check out his channel. You guys already know about Neil's channel. I don't got to tell you, but if I do, go check him out. Hold on. The chat jumped. I've been talking too much. Precision Knife Work says, I'm going to be making a bunch of fixed blades in S30V targeting 63 to 64 HRC. Damn. The question I have is, how brittle is S30V at 63 to 64? Is it cryo treated? Is that how you're achieving that? I don't think I've seen S30V that high. So I'm curious. I've never experienced that. But that seems like that could be cool. John says, any blade steel that is heat treated correctly is a great steel. Yeah. I mean, as far as like, if we're talking about like, for the purpose of using a knife, yes. Even steel's heat treated at 59. Like, people don't like hearing this, especially from me, because I've made so much fuss about, you know, Rockwell targets and proper heat treat and all this. Like, the first mistake people make is by assuming that a good heat treat has to be a high Rockwell target. That is complete nonsense. You can have a good heat treat on a knife. Like, you can properly heat treat 14C at 58 Rockwell, and it will be a good heat treat. And in fact, Sandvik, the makers of 14C, would actually consider that to be optimal. It just depends on what do you want out of your knife, right? So, for example, you cryo treat 14C to 60 to 62, you're going to get far more edge retention than you would on 14C at 58. 14C at 58 is going to be far more tough. It's going to be far more corrosion resistant. You know, oftentimes when these steels go up in Rockwell Target, they also go down in both toughness and corrosion resistance. So there's always trade-offs. It's always a bit of a push and a pull, but it kills me because I used to think this way too, where I was like, it's not properly heat treated if it's not between this and this. No, it's proper heat treatment has little to do with the actual HRC. And I think that that's what a lot of people miss on, because they don't want to think about the little details that will cause an aneurysm. And there's no way that we will ever actually get that information of, was this properly heat treated? Like, HRC is what we fixate on because that is exactly what we are able to measure and we can gain some kind of grasp on. But the truth is that unless you're actually there and you see them, shove the steel into the oven and, do the temper, there's a lot of people will just not understand that. So it tickles me when they're like, well, if it's at 59, was M390 even properly heat treated? Probably. Low Rockwell does not equal bad heat treat. It equals softer heat treat, which has a different bevy of properties, give you a different set of results. And the truth is that most people will never put their knife thoroughly to the test. Like, we'll sit here and fixate on the Rockwell hardness and be like, I need it to be this. And then you never cut with it. So what's the point? It only really matters. It only really matters if you're actually, putting it to the test. For me, I got so many knives, like I'm not really worried necessarily. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't care about the potentiality. Like, I care about knowing exactly what my tools are capable of. And I think that a lot of people are like me in that regard. But we can also overdo it and like over fixate on it and be like, this is M390 at 59, throw it away. It's like, listen here. If you're not using your knife, what does it matter? You could make it out of D2. You could make it out of A2. You could, make it out of 14C or 9CR, 51 MOV. It doesn't matter. It only really truly matters if you're putting it to the test each and every single day. And that isn't to say that there aren't people that don't do that, because there are. But I would say that for a vast majority of collectors, we're not truly putting it to the test, right? I would challenge people. I don't think the majority is. Precision Knife Work says, y'all, let's get rid of MagnaCut. I hate working. All right, well, let's check in on the poll. The poll is, which of these knife steels should be retired? I put down MagnaCut M390 S30V. MagnaCut is at 2%. Nobody's getting rid of MagnaCut. M390 is at 24. S30V is at 25. And I Like Rocks is winning at 49%. That tells me that the majority of you guys just don't care. That's okay. That's okay. Ed B says you can retire everything except S90V. I love S90V. S90V is one of my top 3 knife steels. Like, if I could pick 3. Now, keep in mind, this is without me having known. I don't know anything about Magnamax. I've seen supposition. I don't know a whole lot about Magnamax. My top 3 steels. Top 3. This is a tough one. Nobody asked me this. I'm just putting it out there. My top 3 steels, in no particular order, I would probably go S90V, Vanax, and specifically MagnaCut at 63 to 65 Rockwell. Those are the top 3. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't absolutely love steels like CPM 15V or CPM Rex 121, or, I even have an appreciation for M390, especially when I see it between 60 plus Rockwell M390 is way different than, M390 at 59. I tell the difference primarily when I'm sharpening. When I sharpen knives in M390, they're at 59. They don't sharpen as cleanly. Those of you who do sharpen your knives know what I'm talking about. The burr takes forever to remove on 59 Rockwell, M390. You can obviously do it, and then you can get a good edge, and you're fine until the next time you sharpen it. But there's just something that feels cleaner about sharpening M390 at like 60 to 62. Just feels a bit better. Anyways, welcome into Lone Star Cowboy. Welcome in to Vivelsky. Did I already say hi? Welcome into Kelly's Mishmash. The Ponds. Congrats on your 10-month anniversary, brother. He says 10 months? It's almost like a decade, right? I mean, in knife years, yeah. Welcome into Craig Vincent. What's up, man? Good to see you. Welcome into C. Kobe. Says, if manufacturers won't advertise their target HRC, we shouldn't buy the product. We'd all miss out on a lot of stuff. There are some manufacturers that I've pressed on this, and some of them just don't want to enter the conversation. Like from their standpoint, they're like, the HRC conversation is ridiculous. Why would I play into that? We're talking about notable companies and makers. Craig Brown, for one, does not advertise his HRC. I think that he should. Heretic Knives, love those guys. I've asked them point blank, why won't you enter the conversation? And they said, because we don't want to have it. And there's the thing, they're not alone. Microtech doesn't do it. Spyderco doesn't do it. Benchmade does do it. It's kind of funny. It's actually really funny because they didn't used to, but more recently they actually have started advertising their Rockwell. So you know what? I don't give them props very often, but you know what? Props to Benchmade for actually doing that. You got to give credit where it's due. Jay, what's up, man? He says, I need a I Like Rocks patch. I want an I Like Rocks hat. Where's my I Like Rocks hat? TC Blades, what's up, dude? Welcome in. Welcome into B Devious. Welcome into Lemons. He says that's MagnaCut, not S90V. I don't know what we're talking about. Red Black says, but seriously, 14C should retire. I don't think so. I think that we should be more picky with how 14C gets heat treated. Specifically, cryo-treated 14C feels like a different steel than non-cryo-treated 14C. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, pick up a Kubi whatever in 14C because they do a cryo treat on it, and they do it beautifully. You'll notice superior edge retention to regular 14C. You'll notice, the same things that you already love about it, which is going to be the corrosion resistance. It's going to be the toughness. 14C is a phenomenal steel for kitchen knives. Specifically for kitchen knives because they have a super thin geometry, so that toughness plays a good role. It allows for better edge stability. It means you can do those thinner angles, and they're going to be tougher at those thinner angles than if you were to use, for example, an S30V or an S35 or an M390 or a whatever. MagnaCut, also a phenomenal kitchen knife steel, but I digress. Ed C says 14C retire, be still my beating heart. That's my only other not on the retired list. 14C is great. It just needs a change of naming convention. If it had a cool name like Nitro V. I don't know why anyone would want to retire 14C over Nitro V. You know what? I'll show you. I came prepared today, okay? Everyone loves Nitro V, but I'm positive that they just love the naming convention. The naming convention of Nitro V is cool. It's super cool. But let's do this. I'm going to clear this is my Steel Snobs knife steel rating tool. It's just a sorting tool. It's available on the Only Spartans Discord if you want it. Everyone there can get it if they want it. Let's do this. Nitro V. All right. Nitro V. Come on, Nitro V. Nitro V. All right. So by itself, Nitro V has a toughness of 7.5, a wear resistance of 3. Now keep in mind, wear resistance is what's most commonly attributed to edge retention, and a corrosion resistance of 7. And you might be looking at that going, you know what? That's not half bad. You get Nitro V on a a really good knife that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. You can get Nitro V, in the what, $40 to $65 range, under the $100 range all day, all over the place, with a multitude of different handle scale materials depending upon the maker. But let's go ahead and pop it in next to 14C. Yeah. So for the people out there that are like, oh, I don't like 14C, I'd much rather have Nitro V. Really? Would you really? Because if it's about the knife steel properties, I don't believe it. Now, keep in mind, this knife steel rating tool is based off of Dr. Laren Thomas's knife steel ratings. He does all the testing for that. These are his ratings. So if you give any credence to him, then you might find some validity here. And if not, then probably not. But by contrast, you can't tell me that you want to retire 14C and not Nitro V if you care about its actual performance. 14C has better toughness, the same amount of wear resistance, and it's got better corrosion resistance. Nitro V is a perfectly good steel. It's better than what most people need for an everyday carry steel. But let's not get it twisted. 14C is a better steel. 14C is going to be tougher and more corrosion resistant, and it's going to give you the same kind of edge retention that you get out of Nitro V anyways. So I digress. That's why I laugh whenever someone craps on 14C, but then they're like, but I love Nitro V. I'm like, you're right, that naming convention is way cooler. People don't know, but they love the name. Appearances matter. Sean McLaughlin, what's up, man? He says, any suggestions? Got some tie scales for Yojimbo. Now, do I wait on the 15V or get the Spy 27? Good question. I know what I would do. I'd put it on the knife that I have. And then once the new one comes in, see what else is out there. If you want to, you might end up wanting to modify both, or are you asking, is this a knife that, I see. So you haven't bought a Yojimbo yet, but you have the scales. Spyderco seems to be dragging its feet on the 15V models that remain. We've been waiting for forever on the Manix 2 Lightweight and 15V. We've been waiting for forever on all the other models that they promised us. We got like half of the 15V lineup that was promised, and I don't know if that's because there wasn't enough 15V stock, or if Spyderco is just trying to be strategic in their releases. I'm hoping that it's the latter and not the former, because there's going to be a lot of disappointed people out there if they can't get the Spyderco they want in that steel, especially now that it's not going to be made anymore. The stock that's out there is out there, which is why I have to wonder, is the delay because they don't have enough of the steel, or is the delay because they're being strategic with their release? I think it's the latter. But I am suspicious about the former. If it were me, if you want a Yojimbo 2, you already got the scales. I would do a certain amount of waiting. The scales aren't going to go anywhere. You've got them. The way I would answer this question is this: if you had both of them in your hands at the same time and you could only pick one, go with the one that you would pick in that moment. Now, it might mean some delayed gratification, right? It might mean that maybe you don't get that Yojimbo in 15V for a month or 2 months or 3 months. But if that's the one you'd rather have, it's way better than buying the one in Spy 27 and then finding out a month and a half later, oh crap, they just released the one that I wanted. Because then you're just going to buy the other one anyways. I know how it goes. I've done that dance. And I know how it goes. You get the one because you're like, you know what? I just want one. You know what? Like, it'll be fine. And then you get it, and then a month and a half later, the one that you really wanted releases, and you're like, just take my money. So the question is, if you had both of them in front of you and you'd rather have the 15V, then you should wait for the 15V. Backcountry Dave, what's up, man? All right, the chat is jumping, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anything. Hold on. B. Devious says, the perfect M390 is the Hawk Talon 63 Rockwell. You know who else has done some 63 Rockwell has been Machine Wise, has done some M390, or was it 20 CV? It might have been 20 CV at 63. Composition wise, they're functionally the same. Fred the Lug, what's up, man? He says, I get so confused with all the steel stuff. I know the basics and the in stuff, but I rarely use the knives enough to really care. See, and that's fair. That's fair. Welcome into Robin. Ace Palone says, you guys don't fight your knives against each other like like you did your action figures when you were a kid. Where's the camera? Why do you know this? Why do you know this? Big Jim says, I really think the 14C is among the best of the budget steels. I have had good and bad D2. The absolute worst steel, in my opinion, is Oz 8. That stuff is garbage. Yeah, I agree. I don't like Oz 8 at all. I don't even necessarily like Oz 10. Oz 10A is okay. I've had one knife and it's the Demko 80-20.5, and it's been my least favorite knife steel on a user knife. Like, I'd rather have the 3V version. Oh. Gas Station Eyes, welcome in, man. He says, unless you have CBRX, test the HRC. It was only a matter of time before we went there. It was only a matter of time. What's up, Cat Scratch? He says, D2 is not bad. It's not. D2 is a perfectly serviceable steel, and it's not stainless. That's the knock against it, is that it's not stainless. But it is semi-stainless. It's a semi-stainless steel, which means that it's going to be more stainless than M4. It's going to be more stainless than Rex 121 or 15V or K390 or you know, any of the tool steels that we love. D2 is going to be more stainless than those. It's not fully stainless, but it is going to be more stainless than those. So D2 is actually a great steel. The problem is that when everyone was in love with D2, they were in love with CPM D2. And so whenever you hear someone be like, you know, it wasn't that long ago, back in the day, people loved D2. I've said it. We're all talking about CPM D2, which is they take ingot-based D2 and they powderized it, and powder metallurgy D2 performs very closely to CTS XHB, and people love CTS XHB. So I get it. It's not fully stainless, but it's semi-stainless. So, and it's a tool steel. It might be one of the most stainless tool steels. However, most of the D2 that's out there is not CPM D2. Most of the D2 that's out there is, you know, some foreign variant of D2. And then to boot, it's ingot-based D2. And so we don't even necessarily get all of the greatest performance that, you know, the folks of yesteryear used to get. Because nobody uses CPM D2, and because that was a crucible steel, specifically CPM D2, we might never again. It's kind of a sobering thought. David V, what's up, man? He says, the only thing I appreciate out of a good heat treat is how the knife sharpens. I don't use any of my knives hard enough to use their full potential. Me neither. I'll admit it. Like, I'm not a hard use guy. I get excited when I bring out the cardboard to bust open, because then I'm like, you know what? It's time. It's time. I do break down a lot of cardboard. So I do use my knives, like I have everyday cutting tasks. I'm not a construction worker. Some people that follow this channel are, and that's totally fine. If your use case scenario is harder than the next guy's, it doesn't mean that their use case scenario isn't valid. It's just different. But I'm with you, man. I don't really hard use any of my knives either. Jim says, us old codgers used 440A in surgical steel. Any is an improvement. So I've showed my very first knife on the channel several times before. It's this little fixed blade my father gave me when I was 7 years old. I still have it. You know what the steel stamp on there is? Pakistani stainless. It's not even surgical. It's Pakistani stainless. Oh, man. It's kind of funny. When I refurbed that knife, after my father passed away, like I was reminiscing and I was going through my stuff that was connected to him, and I found my first knife that he gave me, and I looked at it and like I had beat that knife to crap. Like as a kid with a knife, you do really dumb stuff. Like you use it as a flathead screwdriver when you shouldn't do that. You go out there and you skin branches and logs, and then you try to tell yourself you know how to sharpen even though you clearly don't. And so like I had beat that knife up and I was like, you know what? My dad, my dear old dad, he was someone that took meticulous care of his tools. The quality of his tools was defined by how well he took care of it. And he always took really great care of his knives. And so as an homage to him, pay homage to him, I was like, you know what? Something that he would have appreciated is seeing this knife refurbished, because he knew that I beat it up. Like he knew it. So I took that knife and I by hand, I did a grip progression, sanding by hand. I want to say I did like 600, 800, 1,000, 3,000. And then I finished it on a strop, and I completely got rid of all my crappy marks that I put on it as a kid. And then I redid the edge bevel. I got rid of several chips because I was stupid and used it as a screwdriver. And I've used that knife. And it's not like the steel is nothing special. Pakistani stainless doesn't exactly give you this sense of quality. Anyways. All right. Big Jim, channel member for 7 months. Jim, thank you so much for riding with the channel. Guys, Spartan, kick the like button. Let YouTube know that we're live, baby. And if you are on the replay squad, let me know in the comments section down below. To everyone out there on the replay squad, shout out to the replay squad. Welcome into Eagle Scout EDC. Henry G says, but from my understanding, there's not going to be any more MagnaCut. Am I wrong? There will be more MagnaCut. MagnaCut is way too popular to die. What you might not see is the actual naming convention of MagnaCut. Aristeel now owns the rights in perpetuity to Crucible Industries, but to my knowledge, they're not really continuing on. I think they just wanted to buy up their existing inventory and copyrights. However, another company could make the exact same composition of steel that MagnaCut is. Just like how Crucible made 20 CV, and 20 CV is basically the same composition chemically, or extremely close. It's extremely close. Like we're talking like a silica difference of like 0.02 or some. Functionally speaking, 20 CV, M390, and CTS 204P they're the same steel. The main difference is going to be the tiniest amount of silica, which is, I believe it's like a byproduct of the manufacturing process. So functionally, they're all the same composition. We'll probably see the same thing with MagnaCut, where we see MagnaCut under a different name, like M-Cut or Master Cut, or I don't know. I highly doubt that we would see MagnaCut disappear completely. But if you just like the way that the steel performs, it's very likely that we could see a company like Bowler, we could see a company like Carpenter, or Sandvik or Hitachi pick up those compositions and be like, yeah, we'll continue it on. It's very possible. I would venture to say it's even likely. Eagle Scout says a good S90V is unbeatable in my opinion. Oh man, I love S90V. S90V is great. 60 to 62 is amazing. People always complain though. They're like, I don't want to sharpen it. You got to have the right tool for the job. If you have a knife in S90V, you do not want to be sharpening it on, like the cheap sharp pebble $20 sharpener that you found on Amazon. No, you need diamond stones. You need diamond stones. Diamonds will cut the hardest steels, whether it's S90V or Rex 121. So every time someone complains to me and they're like, I just don't want to sharpen it, I'm like, you don't have the right tools. If you're afraid to sharpen your S90V, if you're afraid to sharpen your M390, if you're afraid to sharpen your Rex 121 or your 15V, you just need to get a good set of diamond stones. That can be intimidating because a lot of those good diamond stones are also pretty expensive. B Shady, what's up, man? Good to see you. Lemon says the carbon fiber Adamas you want is MagnaCut, not S90V. I could have sworn they made an S90V version, though. I swear I've seen an S90V version of that knife. Gas Station Knives says, I tested my FSD with an accidental soft bump on another knife on day one, put a nasty, surprising gouge on it that required full reprofile to eliminate. And also, I could not sleep that night. Man, I would be reaching out. I'd be reaching out to Craig Brown. Like, yo, I want a blade replacement. This is obviously not standard. Ed B says, gentle fondling is required of the like button. All right. You guys might be wondering, that's all good and fine, Rolls. What'd you carry today? In the pocket today, speaking of knife sharpening, this is my version 1 Devo Tallboy with the Timascus kit. Absolutely love this knife. Remains one of my favorite knives in my collection, period. Shout out to Devo Knives. I just put a new edge on this. The light's too bright. I just put a new edge on this, courtesy of the new TS Prof Cadet Pro, which I will be doing a video on soon. Oh man, people in the Only Spartans Discord got to see a teaser of me taking my Cortex XL factory edge to the base of a ceramic mug. So I'm committed. A lot of people are like, oh, a sharpening video. Look at that. It's on a, $50 budget knife. It's like, you know what? Let's raise the stakes. It's a $500 system. Supposedly, depending upon who you ask, for the money, it's unbeatable. There are many people that actually prefer it over the Wicked Edge that's more expensive. So I committed because they reached out. TS Prof reached out and they're like, hey, we don't know if you would be interested in this, but if you would, let us know what your ideas are. And I was like, what if I were to sharpen an $850 knife? So I'm committed. So content for the TS Prof Cadet Pro on this guy, sharpening this guy. If you want to see someone truly commit to using an expensive knife sharpener to maintain the edge on an $850 knife, that content is coming soon. Sierra Rick, what's up, man? He says, evening, DLT just dropped the Hogue Mysto in MagnaCut, and they do reveal the heat treat. That is an awesome heat treat, that new awesome knife. Check it out. Great price point. Yeah, the Hogue Mysto. I heard that Who was it? They said they didn't like the retention on it. DLT. Hold on. We'll do a screen share real quick. And after we check this out, we'll go over to the Only Spartans Discord. Hogue Mysto. Boom. There it is. I know some people were really not happy with the retention. Like the tension on the lock bar apparently was not good. Like it didn't have a good detent. Now, I don't know. Was that Neve? Was that Jared Neves? It's a good looking knife. $329, American made, Magna Cut at what? 63 to 65? 62 to 64. That's good. That's right there in the range that I want to see it in. I think Magna Cut at 62 is completely fine in my opinion. Spyderco does Magna Cut at 62 and they get great results out of it. Hogue 62 to 64, fan-frickin-tastic. Titanium handle scales with the pattern milling on there. Reversible clip. The Mysto. It's not new. We all know about the Mysto. My question is, have they done anything about the retention? Because I know some people had an issue with that. Ooh. Armor black Cerakote. Ooh. With carbon fiber. Milled carbon fiber looks so good. I like that. That's pretty. And blue tritium thumb stud. That's bougie. And you know what? Milled carbon fiber, Cerakote, Magna Cut, and tritium, $319. That is a good price. That is a very good price. They even have one now in a Tanto. Is that a new blade shape? Or did they have that before? Armor black Tanto. I mean, I appreciate the fact they did a Tanto. I appreciate that. That's cool. Definitely a good price. Definitely a good price. Guys, it's time to go on over to the Only Spartans Discord. The Only Spartans Discord. What is the Only Spartans Discord? I can't talk today. It's this. It's the nice community that I created for the people that support the channel to come together as part of the community. Now, some members only do the pocket check, and that's totally fine. Some members, do the pocket check and they hang out and chat and they chat it up with me. Some members, they take advantage of the knife yard sale, which is great. You know, there's some people that are really all throughout this community, and there's some that only join in for part of it. If you're a channel member, you can join the Only Spartans Discord. That's how you get in. Earlier, I mentioned the Steel Snobs knife steel rating tool that I use to compare knife steels. That is also hosted here. All channel members are welcome. Whether you're a gifted member, if you're a 99-cent member, if you're, the $3 member, I think I still have a $10 membership. If you're a $10 member, everybody's welcome in the Only Spartans Discord. I am working on a system that will allow me to do giveaways on this Discord. I am working on it. So all future giveaways are going to be done on the Discord. If you didn't know, now you know. And during our live streams, we come here and check out the pocket check. So obviously today I carried this guy right here. This is the one and only Devo Tallboy Purple Haze Fat Carbon. Purple Haze Camo Carbon Damascus kit. That's what I carried. What did you carry? Today's carry, we're going to start off with Nick T. Nick T's got the CKF Evo 4.0 and the EMPC Nimble. Very nice. Look at that. It's a solid carry. I like the purple hank behind it too. And then I forget, what is that called? What's the name of that company? They make good fidget knickknacks. Hey, shout out to my man Jim Miller with the 5 gifted memberships. Jim, thank you so much, Jim, and congrats to the new channel members, and in some cases returning channel members. Shout out to my man Bluminati Ninja. Shout out to Paul Mills, Tricky 48, Lawrence Chin, and Kelly's Mishmash. Guys, consider joining the Only Spartans Discord. Once you're in, you're in. And thanks again, Jim. Definitely appreciate it. All right, we're going to check back on the poll real quick and we'll continue with the pocket check. I asked the chat, which of these steels should be retired? 76 people have voted so far. 4% said Magna Cut. 25% said M390. 24% said S30V. And most people said, I like rocks. Yeah. I like rocks. All right. All right. We're going to end the poll. I get it. I get it. Half of the community is like, whatever. Totally fine. I was curious how many people are actually interested in that, though. Welcome into Kevin Smith and Knives. Good to see you, man. Welcome into Leon. I know I'm gonna butcher your last name. Is it Nettier? Nettier? Welcome in, Leon. All right. Let's continue with the pocket checks. Ed B's got the Kubi Arius and the Kubi Ruckus. Look at that fantastic photo. Says it was a bit chilly on the roof. Such a good knife. The Kubi, the Kubi Arius. It's the Kubi Titanium Titius. I know what it is. I know what it is. The Titanium Titius. Thought you were going to throw me off with that one. It almost worked, Ed. It almost worked. Vavelsky. Ooh, that's another good shot. He's got the Peachy G9, the Spyderco, the CPM 15V, Spyderco Military 2 in the Big Brown Bear 15V. And then he's got the, hey, is that the S90V? It is. He's got the same Sage 6 as I do, the S90V version. Oh, speaking of which, if you're like, what's the latest content? What's the latest regular content? It's the, I did my video on the Sage 6. That is the latest content. If you haven't seen it, go watch it after this. Love the Peachy G9. Love all of those. That's a great carry. All right. Craig Vincent, he's got a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. He's got the Kubi. It's the Kubi Nest. The carved. Wait. I sold that one. I know what that is. It's the Kubi Carve. It's the Kubi Carve. The Kubi Carve Nest because it has a nested liner. He's also got a Kubi Titanium Titius. That one looks familiar. Was that also mine? I don't know. I sold one recently. Man, you guys know how to bring up the nostalgia every time. An FM1. He's got the Cold Steel Engage. He's got the Carve. Is that a Cold Steel Carve? Yeah, very nice. Good to see some familiar blades right there too. Dazed. What? Which knife is that? I feel like I should know that. I don't recognize that knife. And you guys are probably gonna like shout it out in the chat. I don't know what knife is that. Shout out to the Matt D. He always takes great carry shots. He's got the Shark Nivco Waka, the Magnus Click Shift Stonewash Snake bandana from Sendero, and a trusty Zippo. What a good looking knife. What a good looking pen. Freaking pens. I've got a few nice machine pens. And I've got to say, like, it is a struggle to not spend a lot of money on pens. It's a great shot. Look at that shot. That looks so good. Reset. Love that. Yeah, shout out to the Matt D. Phenomenal shot. Chainsaw's got the Manix 2 lightweight. And is that a... Which one is this? That's not a Tenacious. Does that say Persistence? Is that an actual knife model? The Spyderco Persistence? I wanted to say that was a Tenacious. But that might just be... Maybe the Persistence is the smaller version of the Tenacious. TC Blade says Mrs. TC Blades, and the Boudreaux and the Boudreaux, the blade tenable par. Yeah. So that's what TC's wife's carrying, the tenable part. That's a great little fixed blade. Jonathan Stiles did a phenomenal job on that fixed blade. And then he's carrying the We Knives Coral SLT flipper. Ooh. I need to get my hands on one of those knives with an SLT flipper. It's super cool. Jim Miller is carrying the sencut Watauga, the petrified fish pate. And is it the pat or the pate? I think it's pat. And the Kaiser muskrat. Very nice. Very, very nice. Always good taste in EDC fixed blades, Jim has. The Pons is carrying the ATK Halt. Some seriously smooth action on those halts. Very, very good. I don't own one, but I did review the prototype, and I got to tell you, the prototype was phenomenal. BDD says the OG Special Edition Raiden number 6 of 7. Ooh. Ooh. That looks good. I like that. Nice harpoon, spear point, drop point. I like it. I like it a lot. Fred's got the Rob Johnson Cedar and the Tough Knives Reset. Solid. I can tell this Tough Knives gets some... Is that Tough Knives? Is that a user? That Tough Knives? I ask because I'm looking at the edge bevel and I'm wondering. Fantastic. Grateful Dong with the smock to ya. Smock to ya. Oh man. Couple Spyderco smocks. Mettenboss scales, I believe, on both. Or both? I think those are also Mettenboss scales. I also have 2 Spyderco smocks. Drinkwater with the Cortex XL. Hey, you got the same one. You got the same style that I got. Look at that. But have you taken your factory edge to a ceramic mug? Probably don't even use your knife. I'm just kidding, man. Fred says top is the Michael Birch Production Secant. And bottom is the Michael Birch Custom No Name. It's just a custom. Man. I like it. Birch Tree Blades. Look at how deep that hollow grind is on the top knife on the Secant. Secant? I'm probably not saying that correctly. Secant? Secant. Ace Paylone says, zoom in, Rollshambo. I fixed that dumb hole. All right, hold on. Oh, wow. There you go. That's for Ed. Ed B hates uninspired round holes. If you didn't know, now you know. All right. Knife Plebe. He's got the American Blade Works Model 1 and the American Blade Works slip joint. That's fantastic. Solid carry. Super solid. The ABW Slippy is one that everybody wants. I want it too. The Pons. He's got just for Ed, Lord of Chaos and Anarchy. So Ed, if you hate uninspired round holes, there you are. All of the holes not in the blade at all. That's a wee miscreant. That's a Riot. What is that? They call that like it's like a PLXT or it's their pivot lock. It's their pivot lock. And then this one is going to be the, which one is this? Smith & Wesson Extreme Ops. Okay, I see you. It's extreme. Extreme. A gas station knife says, Tri-State made me a winner. You hear that, MC? CJRJ Lyrid would not have bought it, but hey, free knife and it smells like Tri-State. That is, yeah, I mean, like, I'm glad that you like it. I'm glad that you like it. Big Jim, he's got, which one is that? Which one is that, Big Jim? That knife looks familiar, but it looks familiar, but it's skipping my mind. Gas station knives. He's got the QSP Dolphin Trinity. The Trinity. Look at that. Crazy talk. One Sneaky Bee's got the Riot Exo U, the Sage 6, and it's the new Gecko Customs. Oh, shoot. I know what that knife is. I've mentioned it many times. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. Kevin Smith and Knives, he's got the... That's the Wii. I know that one. I want to say it's the Wii Nefarious, but it's not. It's not the Nefarious. That's Wicked Dream Designs. It does the Nefarious. The one next to it's a Serge Panchenko slip joint. I know that. Man, I am just blanking tonight. My brain is tired. Wicked Dream Designs got the crescent. It's got the crescent edges. That's the what do they call that one? I know that's crescent blades. It's not the Nemesis, is it? I'm cheating. It's the Eternal. It's the Crescent Edges Eternal. And then the other one he does is called the Spade. Wow, I'm actually shocked he still has some in stock. Look at that. And wow, that's impressive. He still has some in stock. Super cool. Nice shot too. Plus, I know you did your thing on those scales. Really cool looking knife. Jim's got the RCK9, the Glow Rhino, and Lynch Northwest All Access Pass. Look at that. I've been wanting one of those Lynch Northwest ones. One of the Lynch Northwest pry bars. RCK9, very classy. I like it. Sever 7's got the, what's this knife called? Today's Carry. That's a what's this knife called? It's a Gavco design. I know that. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I can see the logo right there. I know it's a Gavco design. It's not the Gavco Nurse. It is the... It's probably named after a shark. Barbarian Brawny. Barbarian Brawny coming in hot with the binge. The Devo binge. Look at that. Nice shot. Very nice. Classy. I like it. Level on up. He's got... It's another Devo knife. That's the... It's not the... Is that the... No, it's not the Growler. It's the Mash. Devo Mash. That looks like the Luft. Oh, what was that? The RTWP? Which one was it? This one's the... That's a Luft knives, right? Jacob Lundquist. I don't know. Am I getting my Lundquists mixed up again? I might be. Ooh. Holt Haptic. Right? Holt Haptic? Did I get it? Give me a cookie. All right, guys. I've been away from the chat. I'm going to go ahead and catch up real quick. I'm not going to scroll up terribly far just because if I do, I will never catch up. So we're just going to go into the live chat now. Oh, that's a Morpheus. No, that can't be a Holt Morpheus. I thought the Morpheus was. I didn't know the Morpheus came in the. I thought that it was the Haptic that had the sheep's foot Wharncliffe style blade. See, when I think about the Holt Morpheus, I always think about. And you know what? What do I know? I always think about the Holt Morpheus like this blade shape, though. This is the blade shape that I've kind of associated with the Morpheus. Oh, gosh, so cool. See, when I thought it was the Haptic that had the more sheep's foot Wharncliffe style blade. Holt Haptic. See? That's what I could have swore. Jim says Haptic is the sheep's cliff. Yeah. Under the RWB, Morpheus and RWB. Oh, I see what you mean. RWB and then Morpheus. Got it. And then this one's the Haptic. Okay. The Haptic is very near the top of my grail list. But there's no way. Like I haven't seen them on the secondary market very much. Devo Saloon Proto. Okay. That's a Proto? Damn. Okay. I'm just taking shots in the dark. I'm like, it's a mash. Oh, man. Bronny, what's up, man? Good to see you. Fresh is like, Rolly is like 1 for 34. There's always room for improvement after 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on this live stream. Oh. Says fit and finish is crisp. On the Devo Proto. All right. Let's see what else is out there. In case you didn't know, if you are someone that's like me and you absolutely hate wire clips, the good news is that Lynch Northwest has a new wire clip replacement. For the longest time, I have been preaching about the good people over at Rips Garage Tech for doing a 3D milled titanium wire clip replacement. Some people don't like it. Some people don't say that it doesn't have enough clearance. So the good news is that if you wanted more clearance and you wanted a 3D Spyderco, guess what? Lynch Northwest recently released these, and they've got several different options for their modular design. I ordered two because I have at least 2 Spydercos with wire clips that need to be replaced, because I took the Rips Garage Tech 3D milled wire clip replacement off of my Swish buoy and I put it onto my Sage 5. I felt like it fit better on my Sage 5. I don't have any clearance issues on my Sage 5 with that clip, but I did on my Swish buoy. I was waiting for a good wire clip replacement. So when I found out about these, I ordered 2. I'm going to put one on my Sage 6 and I'm going to put one on my Swish buoy. Check it out. And they've got the different options too. So I'm just throwing this out there for anybody who might not know this, but check it out. This is the wire clip replacement, V2 machined. So you can get it with this cutout right here. They've got different finishes like dark abyss, which kind of looks cool. Satin dark abyss. Looks pretty cool. A fade anodized. It's crazy. They also have the ones with kind of the little bit of sculpting right there. Yeah. I think I got stonewashed and satin blast. Yeah, I got satin blast and stonewashed. So those are the two that I got. But they have different options. So I'm mentioning this because many of you guys are like me and you're like, you know what? Screw wire clips. Some people are like, it's okay. It's okay. It's not that serious. But if you're like me, when you saw these, you're like, damn, what a way. And you know what? If you don't like any sculpting at all and you don't want a window cut out, you can get the regular flat top. Very cool. Glass blasted, stonewashed, dark abyss. Yeah. So they got options. For those of you out there who like to replace your Spyderco pocket clips and you have some wire clips to replace, there you go. Grateful Dong says, been lurking this whole time, but have to say I can't put this Pictus. That's what it was. It was the Pictus. It was the Pictus. I know what it is. I have correctly identified it many times. Many times. I knew I missed it. Barbarian Brawny says, Deadman Design Co. Elixir Kickstarter is coming to an end if anyone is looking to back a sweet new knife. Oh. Did not know that. Jim, have a good rest of your night, my friend. We will catch you on the flip side.
This is Sparta!
Jay says, I wonder if those would work on a downdraft in the MASH V2.5. I believe so. I'm not positive. Don't quote me. Mine are in the mail, so I don't know. But I would be very surprised. I know that Devo Knives usually aims to have their wire clips be replaceable with the Spyderco wire clip replacements from Lynch Northwest. So I would imagine that there is at the very least a decent chance that it would work on the MASH. On the downdraft, I don't know. I'm assuming maybe, probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't own a downdraft. Couldn't say for sure. Jim says they will on the downdraft. Well, there you go. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. Say good night, Jim. Not far behind you. 4:30 a.m. Pacific time comes quick. Damn, you're getting up early. Getting up early. All right. What else? What else is new? You know what? Let's see real quick. Any new drops on DLT? Herman Custom Knives and Pen, Koenig Mini Goblin, Jack Wolf Knives, the Gateway Barlow. Nothing that's like reaching through the screen and grabbing me. I mean, you know, except for the Mini Goblin, which I already bought. Herman Custom Knives and Pens. So expensive. They're so expensive. That's cool though. Look at this. Like that really is pocket art. But the crazy thing is that even this one is definitely designed to be used. It's only, you know, $1,100. I'll get a Herman one of these days. One of these days. What I'm really looking at is their pens. I want to get an Epica. I missed out on the one that I wanted. Those in the Only Spartans Discord know, but this is the one I should have just bought this one. I've been watching every single drop since this became available, and then it sold out, and they have not done it again. It's for the best, because if they did this again, I would instantly buy this. Well, look at that. It's got the tiniest little puzzle piece milling. and then it's flamed. Like, that looks super cool. And it was also a lot more affordably priced than their other pens. Oh man, what other, like, for example, look at these. Look at these. This one's also pretty cool. Very cool. Herman Epica. But the problem is that I got bit by a bug, and the one that I want, I love that puzzle piece milling. That's super cool. I love how it's there, and then they just ended the flame. Then they brought it back for the clip. I don't care who you are. That's freaking cool. I think if I were to buy anything Herman, I would have to buy it from DLT, because I do not want to pay the tariff. Okay? I don't want to pay the freaking tariff. C. Kobe says, bought another Excalibur. Has anyone had any shipping issues with recent purchases? Dolomite says, Roll, how did the move go? You know what? I would say we're probably about 95% moved in. Like, there's a very small amount of stuff that we haven't figured out where we're going to put it yet. And so, like, almost everything else is moved in. Like, we're mostly out of boxes now, which is great. My studio is, studio/office is set up for the most part. For what it's worth, it went pretty good. It was the most stressful move that I've ever made. Like, in 2014, I threw all the, I was just out of college. I threw all my crap in the back of my Mercury Sable. My girlfriend, now wife, in the car with me. We put our crap in my Mercury Sable. Like, that's how little I owned. And we moved from Idaho to Colorado. 11 years later, it's 2025, and we've got a household, we've got a toddler, we've got 2 dogs, and no Mercury Sable, and we had to get moving pods. It was stressful. It's one thing when you don't have anything, when you're fresh out of college, you very simple things, and you can throw all your crap in the back of a sedan and make that move. That's one thing. But when you got a wife, a toddler, 2 dogs, and a household full of crap, which all of a sudden you do not want to get rid of, it was stressful moving 1,000 miles. The move went good. Ultimately, the move went good. All the stress aside, nothing important got broken or stolen. Everything got set up. It was stressful, but we made it, and I'm glad that it's over. All right, guys. Well, I think that we're going to go ahead and call it there. Guys, exciting stuff coming up soon. One of the things I'm working on right now is creating a giveaway system specifically for the Discord. Once I figure that out, we're rolling a giveaway. Absolutely. So giveaways on the horizon. Knife sale also on the horizon. I'm thinking late July, early August. It's going to be one of the best knife sales that I've done as far as the type of knives that I'm selling. I'm really excited about that. So that is on the horizon. More content. I got some really, really cool stuff to make content for. Not excluding the TS Prof Cadet Pro. Not excluding new stuff from North Mountain Blades, new stuff from Geoknife, new Spyderco content, new Vosti content. I got a lot of really great stuff in the works, and I'm very, very excited about it. So the next live stream, barring anything unforeseen, should be this Saturday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 10 p.m. Eastern, which is 9 p.m. Central, which is 7 p.m. Pacific. Yeah, there we go. Guys, thank you so much for riding with the channel, for enjoying the live stream. And for those of you in the Only Spartans Discord, we'll see you soon.